And then, as I was saying earlier with the students talking about physics, I said, the students know this is a load of crap when you give them a whole bunch of busy work. And what does that lead us to? Well, that leads us to cheating. Among other things. I myself have not cheated since 2nd grade, I think. You know what? It was hard not cheating. Because you know this stuff, and like it's just crap. I'm not learning this from more than half of my assignments. I'm not learning anything out of this. I'm just doing it. But I have a sense of honor. I feel okay. Well, I'll actually do it, and we got this. We have all these social standards. We have these. They shouldn't cheat. I understand that. I just wish this was a worthwhile thing we were doing in the first place all the time. So that, that would really make sense. And not cheating. You're supposed to learn all these things. Why? Well, because of social contracts, to be quite honest. You have to go to school here and you have to, get your diploma or whatever and then get your degree in order so you can have a job, in order so that you can feed yourself. And apparently people offering jobs aren't as forward-thinking as I would like them to be. And there's always the specter of the future clouding over things. Whenever it is, you don't want to mess around with something. I don't want to do this freaking assignment. We've had 6 of these in the last 3 weeks. I've written enough essays. Thank you very much. Have I ever started thinking that way? And half the time? No, more than half the time, such thinking is logical, at least in my own experience. I don't know what your school's like, whatever. You start thinking that way, and you start acting that way, and you start not putting as much effort into this thing because, look, this is crap, it doesn't matter. People start threatening you with the future. The future. Because somewhere in the future, if you don't take this class, you won't be able to get in this other class. In this other class, you're going to need to get into a good college. If you don't get into a good college, you're not going to get a good job. You don't get a good job, you're going to spend the rest of your life bumming around at your parents' place. And no one even needs to say this, up front. People don't need to say, hey, you are going to fail at life. But there's, this insidious feeling about it. Every time you get, a C, everyone's like, oh, a C. You just get a C? You just get at least in where I came from. That's bad. You should put more effort in this. You should put more. You gotta get A's, man. You gotta get as many A's as possible. You gotta earn as high a grade as possible. Wouldn't it be nice if we strove for being as educated as possible, instead of having the highest grade in the class? It's a stagnant pool, is what it is. That's what happens with all authoritarian systems. We have, the teachers, the administrators and stuff, they're all deciding everything. The kids being educated have practically no say. There's such thing as student government. It's nice, but we don't really get to decide things in student government. We decide, we're going to build a new park bench by the left side of the school. Okay, that's nice. But we can't do much in terms of, this thing is totally crap, and I say classes should be optional. If you say if classes were optional, then kids would, waste all their time. Not really. In the immediate sense, sure, because we've been conditioned that education is unpleasant. But particularly if you get kids from a young age, and even with kids, many years down the line, and you become jaded to the whole idea of education, I think we want to learn. I think you facilitate that. I think it's okay, you don't have to come in here and learn chemistry today, but if someone's interested in chemistry, Mr. So-and-so will be available at these times. And also the library is available. And also kids form their own little groups, and also kids form their own little... I know, doesn't this sound all utopian and, free-thinking, and that can't possibly happen? Well, apparently it does happen a few times here and there, because there's these things. I love this idea. It's so freaking obvious. Which just scares you, the fact that we never thought about it. Because, again, when the student body has no real power over the way the education works, we stop thinking about how to make it any better. Such thoughts are futile, or futile, whatever. Such thoughts are worthless. Because nothing is going to change because the students ask it to change. We're not going to fire some sort of teacher because they're doing a horrible job. We can't protest and say, this assignment is pointless, or why on earth do we have a test on this day, not that day, and why is it that the test always has to be in a certain day at all? Why can't you just learn? Why can't you just... When the student body has no power, all the crap that I've mentioned starts happening among generally well-meaning teachers that are just sort of working within this system that really doesn't make any sense. How about we give power to the students? There are these things out there called democratic schools, in which the kids get together and they hold votes, and the students and the teachers all alike have one vote apiece, and they hire and fire staff positions, and they make and change their own rules, and they make the and that work, and it generally happens in democratic schools. Kids quickly kids quickly decide that that classes, or most classes, should be optional. This should just happen at various times in any given day. If you want to go to this class and not go to this class, or even attend or not attend school, in some cases, that's up to you. That's up to you. We're here to facilitate education, because it will happen naturally. It's as if we thought that people do not eat on their own, and we must force the food down their throats. People know how to eat, and will furthermore eat, what they like to eat, and that'll be good for them, and that'll be... But no. We must force the education. Democratic schools, though. And that's so cool. And I'm sure it's not utopia over there. I'm sure I have some problems and some grumbles, some... But I've read, I know very little about democratic schools, to be quite honest, but from what I've read, it's so much better. And oh, God, I wish I'd had something like that. Or another idea, called unschooling. What is that? It's like homeschooling without the formalities of school. Half the time, homeschooling is essentially just a home version of the school schooling. And, the parent is acting as a teacher, generally a parent. And they give you certain things, and at certain times you're working on certain subjects and certain assignments, and the units are arranged in this order, and you have to take this test on this day, and pass with this percentage. And unschooling means, hey, you're a kid, you're naturally curious, we're just going to help out with that. Kids say, I want to go, learn about trees. Fine, we're going to go to the Arboretum, we're going to... You want to learn about fish? Here we're going to an aquarium, and maybe we can't afford to go to an aquarium every single day, but you have just a few books on fish. We got those in the library. Yay, library! And here's a few things on the internet, and you can arrange things with other kids, and you can work things out on your own. And not even just kids, but I said earlier about the whole age segregation. Well, why can't we have a 12-year-old helping out an 8-year-old? Maybe the 8-year-old teaches the 12-year-old a couple of things. And things happen in democratic schools too. Sometimes kids are teaching the classes, because sometimes the kid knows enough to teach a certain class, to teach a certain thing at a certain time, at a certain... Oh my gosh! It'd be so cool. I tell you, if I have kids, I don't want to put them in a public school system. I do democratic schools or unschooling, or honestly, if I had enough the money and resources, I'd found my own schools, and so kids don't have to go through the stuff I went through. And